Hey, what's up, people? Just getting started here. Just spinning up some code. Thought I'd work on my app this evening, see how everybody's doing, and yeah, talk a little bit about code, talk a little bit about DJing, all of that good stuff. I hope everybody's having a great weekend. I've had a pretty good weekend myself, and I haven't had a chance to do any code, so I thought that I'd do some today. It's about 7 o'clock here in England, and yeah. So, what are we going to do today? So, this is an app that I've been working on for quite a while now, and thought I'd do some. It's mostly done, but there are still some other things that I need to work on for this. I always find it's helpful for other people who are learning how to code and other people who are more experienced than myself as well that may be watching for me to help learn how to code a little bit better as I'm working through this. So this is the closest thing that I have to a real world app. Uh, it's called Scratch Champion. It's a DJ scratching game. You use real DJing equipment to do it. I have my mixer hooked up, but I don't really have my turntables hooked up, but we're still able to cycle through. And today, what I'm going to work on is probably a little bit more of the graphics, as well as there are some uh, game state changing things that I want to work on as well. So I haven't coded in a couple days, so I may be a little bit rusty, but I uh, but I hope it's not. I hope you can forgive me for any rustiness. So big shout out to ASO Projects from Vienna tuning in and Brog Music tuning in from Vienna and India, respectively. Thank you for joining. And yeah, we're here just to learn how to code better. So I'm not sure what I'm actually going to do with this app. I pitched it to a couple companies, and they feel that it's quite niche. So I'm not quite sure what I'm going to do with it just yet. But I really enjoy working on it live here with everybody and showing some of my thought process behind making this app. So just to review what I've done so far. So here's like a setup screen. And like I said, it's a DJ scratching app. And you can switch between left and right turntables. So that's the turntable that you would be scratching on. You also have different types of digital vinyl systems. So you got Serato and Tractor in there, and you got some settings as well. And so this isn't routing in from Serato or Tractor or something like that. This is actually its own DJ app, all from scratch. So, so yeah. So once you've set up, then hit the next button. There are these lessons that you can take. So think it's kind of like melodics, but for DJing, basically. And so I got one of these. So I'll just click on it and I'll load it up. Then we got the screen that's kind of like Serato. And when I hit play, you won't be able to hear this because it's routing through the mixer. And unfortunately, I only have two channels on my sound card, so I can only either do the mic the uh, or the mixer, and not both. So Universal Audio, if you're watching, maybe hook me up with a 4-channel sound card, or maybe I'll just buy one myself. So yeah, so I'll hit play here, and like I said, you won't be able to hear anything because I don't have sound routing into it. But essentially, this is a lesson that I previously recorded, and what you see here is like a path of the record going back and forth, and then my supposed path, even though I don't have my turntable hooked up, so that's why it's just a straight red line, and then you get a score. So up between 1 and 5 stars on your accuracy. Then once you've done that, once that's all finished, then you can play again or load another lesson. And this is where our work comes in, because if I'm clicking here on play again or load another lesson and nothing is actually happening. Okay, so this feels like a good place for us to begin, and that's where we're going to start. So I'm going to zip out of that, and I'm going to scroll down. So essentially now we need. I've set up buttons at the moment. I've already set those up, and now what I'm going to do is I need to actually pipe those into changing the game state, and there's going to be various things that are going to need to change when I click that button, right? So let's see here. So I have this button clicked. Ooh, a lot of button clicked functions. Here's my main button clicked. So what we have here is I will actually build this again so I can actually walk through it with everybody step by step. So if anybody's for people that are learning, you can kind of follow along, and hopefully you'll pick up some things. And if you're more experienced than me, maybe you can tell me what I'm doing wrong, or what I could do better, and maybe I can learn some better ways and more effective ways of doing this. So we have a login screen, right? So you put in your email and you put in your password, and that is exactly what this is. Login button clicked. So if I just jump to that function, and here what I'm doing is I'm essentially saying, hey, if my login button is being clicked, then I want to change the state of my app to setup. And then I have this screen creator that is essentially going to kill or destruct my login screen and create a setup screen. So that's what's happening. And then I have this JAssert false, which is essentially kind of if something goes, if I'm in this state and I click that and it doesn't do that, then something is wrong. So so that's why I have that there. Sometimes it's good to have these little bailouts, little checks, just to make sure that your state change is happening properly. So cool. So I hit the login button, and it indeed successfully changes my state to setup. And then if I scroll down here, now we have this select lesson button clicked. Okay, so that is referring to this button here down in the bottom right. And and when I click that, then that's what happens again. Basically, it says if the button is my select lesson button, which is that little arrow button, then we're going to change the state to load. And once again, it's going to kill off our setup screen, and it's going to create a lesson screen, which is going to have load all of our lessons. So that's what we're going to do. And then we have our lesson screen, and so on and so forth, right? So that is essentially what my button clicked is doing. It's saying, okay, if we're in loading, we should be listening for a lesson, select button. Then I have this top panel right here. And as you can see, all of these are grayed out because we don't want to play the lesson, or we don't want to load, or we don't want to enable the user to mess with any of this stuff while our game is still not loaded, right? So we notice that when I hit load, boom, all of these now become enabled, and I'm able to loop on or loop off. I don't think that the loop function is, I've already kind of done the logic for it, but I need to reconnect it all up again. So, but you see that these are all enabled now, right? Now, if I hit the settings button again, it should bring me back to setup. And there we are. We're back in setup. So this is nice. This works properly. So this is nice. And there's loads of stuff. There are loads of other things, other game logic that is happening in the background. For example, if we've loaded a lesson, so now what that's done is that has a whole bunch of metadata and a whole bunch of stuff that is taken and it's pulled it out and put it into appropriate places. It's taken audio files and loaded them to appropriate places, set the playhead to 0, and done all these things. And then, but then if I if I hit the settings button again, then we have to do a whole bunch of stuff. Like we need to take that lesson, unload it, take all those audio files, unload them, basically bring it back to the state that it was before the lesson was loaded. So there's a lot of little stuff like that that kind of needs to be done in the background, and it makes, I think, games like this quite complicated actually. A whole bunch of things, a whole bunch of state and of different objects that needs to be managed over time. But it's been fun. It's been a real learning lesson developing this app, and I've really enjoyed it. So let's go here, and now we can actually see that I've written functions in my end screen here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to play through a lesson here. So here we are. This lesson's just playing through at the moment, and it's going to take a minute. Like I said, you can't hear anything because I don't have any audio routed through the mixer, but it actually all works properly and stuff. And if I hit the load, if I hit the loop button, I don't think the the loop play is actually routed in at the moment either. So all of this is, so we see that I had the loop enabled, but it still came to the end screen. And now I can't actually even click unable. So unenable for the loop button. So there's a couple little bugs here. So play again is now the where we're going to focus there, and load another lesson. I think I've written all of these already, but we're just going to need to actually go into them. So first thing that we're going to do is look at this replay button, or this play again button. So we will just jump to definition here, and we see that replay button is clicked. So at the moment, I'm doing this check to essentially first make sure that I'm indeed in the end screen. But you know what? As I've been going through this, I'm realizing I don't know. Yeah, well, maybe I do. So if button is equal to end screen get replay button, then what do we want to do? So not sure why I had an ampersand there. Okay, but uh, so no member name get replay game button. So that could be a problem. First problem is that I don't have a get replay button function in end screen. So let's have a look at that first. So if I go down to the end screen, and it's interesting that there's just a UI there. Okay, what have I done here? So I'm going to look in game, and I'm going to look in. Okay, so I have, so there's another little wrinkle to this application, in that there are two modes that are actually in this application. There's a mode where you create the lessons, and there's another mode where you play the lessons. So, and both of those have end screens. Okay, so yeah, so now what I need to do is I need to look and see how I'm going to get the end screen logic. So end screen has this function get replay game, which returns the game button. And let's see, what are we going to do? How are we going to do this? So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go back and I'm going to actually take a look at how I've written some of these other ones. So let's see. So this is Screen Creator, which applies to both, if it's the game and if it's the lesson. So let's see. Let's just try to see how I've abstracted this out. So all of this is the same. So yeah. So there's something that I'm going to need to do that questions if the app mode is a game. If the app mode is a game or if it's the creator. Feel like there's something, I feel like I could abstract that out a little bit more. Okay, so the question is, so now the question is, okay, so the creator, both the creator and the screen, and the creator and the game have an end screen. Okay. Now the question is, do I try to abstract out the end screen behavior into a parent class and then inherit end screen from this parent class into both of my sub end screens? Or do I look at the state of the application and then route that to each one of the end screens depending on what the state on what the app mode is? So I'm going to take a chance here, and I'm going to make a parent class that is going to be the base class for what an end screen means, and then inherit end screen in my game end screen. So that is what I'm going to try to do, because I think a lot of this is going to be very similar. So if I look at my game end screen, that looks like that. And now let's look at what the creator end screen looks like. So that is in UI end screen. So I'm going to go down here. Maybe I should load this up in a different tab. So we got that end screen. Okay, so here are my two different end screens. Okay, cool. So it looks like I've already started with that logic and inherited from end screen, and we've got two buttons. So one is get load game button, and then the other one is going to be some type of replay. So one is going to be like a load another lesson, load another lesson, or record another lesson. The other one is going to be some type of play replay button. So let's go ahead and just try to start there. I think that's a good place for us to start. So now I'm going to load up so we got that one, and I'm going to do another tab where I'm going to load up the third end screen class, which is going to be the parent end screen. So we're taking these two classes that have very similar behavior, and we're going to try to abstract out what this is, what this means. So first of all, we will start with the constructor, and we see that the constructor is taking a button listener argument. Okay, which is basically something that's going to be listening for when these buttons get clicked, which is going to be our main component class. So that sounds like a good place, a sensible place to start. Here we are. We have our in-screen class. This is going to be our parent class, and here we go. We're actually going to stop doing so much talking, and we're actually going to do some dang coding. So we go end screen, and this is going to take an argument of juice button listener. There we go. There's our constructor. Now we're going to have these two functions, right? So one is going to be let's go to this one actually. So I think this is a little bit better. One's going to be a loading button, and one is going to be a replay button. So I'm just going to copy these for now and go to our base class. I'm going to paste these here, and I'm going to now these are going to return buttons. Okay, so this brings up a interesting question of, well, what's different about these classes? What's different about these in-screen classes? So, because then it becomes a question of when the button is clicked. Well, where is that logic held? Where does it tell all of these things to change? So I think that when I have select lesson button, so all of this is abstracted out, right? So this is abstracted out no matter if it's a game or if it's the creator. So now the question becomes, can I abstract this class out? Maybe it could be one end screen class. So you have one option where you have base class, two end screen classes that inherit from that parent class, but the behavior of each one of those derived classes is slightly different. Option 2 is one end screen class that where we pipe in the application state, and then depending on the application state, what that end screen class displays is very slightly different. Very slightly different. It's not really a whole lot different than it's not like it's completely different functionality. They just have, well, they have two buttons. The first, the game screen though has the scores. It displays the scores. So that's something that the game end screen has that the creator end screen does not have. So my good friend Martin, big shout out to Martin. He says avoid inheritance where possible. Option 2, one end screen that slightly changes depending on what the application state is. Okay, cool. So that feels simple enough. The only thing is that I need to move all of this in here. So I'm just taking a look at, so this is my game screen, and where do I have these stars at? So where are so that's score panel. Okay, so I'm going to stop inheriting from here. Okay, so let's see if we can just put all of this in one class, just kind of scrunch it up in there. So we have a score panel. Score panel holds, uh, so the score panel holds the score back panel. Then you have score panel, which holds the um, actual stars, right? Yes. So score panel holds the stars. Score back panel kind of holds both of those things. And then end screen just holds, then end screen holds the score back panel and the score panel. Even though maybe the score panel, so many things that I'm just that I'm just thinking here. Um, so for now, to shut that up, I'm going to inherit from juice component. So okay, let's just start with the basics. We need, so we're going to try to do, to do an option where we have one end screen, and depending on the state, depending on the application mode, that is going to slightly change the what this end screen is going to display. So we have some type of load. I'm just going to call this a load button, and I'm going to call this a replay button, because just to abstract this out here. So that's going to be replay and load. And then going back up here to here, or is it here? I'm going to grab these. I'm going to pop these over in here. So now we're making one class out of two rather than three classes out of two. So this is going to need to know about our button listener, and there's, so let's see here. So I have this app. So I have this app mode. And now I'm going to want my end screen to know about app mode. So it needs to listen to what app mode is doing, or what app mode is. And that feels fine. I almost feel like I should have that end screen up here now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go down here. I'm going to copy all of this. And then I am going to go out of here, stop the tasks. And then in here, so we have base, we have game, we have creator. I'm going to put an end screen in here. For now, I feel like this is the place for it to be. I'm just going to call this end screen. Okay, so there we are. It's up here, but I'm going to put it down here. And now we're going to launch this baby again. Here we are. Pasted what I formerly had there. I'm going to get rid of this. Don't feel like I need that anymore. Move it to the trash. And then I'm going to go in here and I'm going to look for end screen. So this is a list of all the stuff in my module that I made for this. And I'm just going to get rid of it there as well. Screen. Okay, cool. So it's gone from there now. And so now here we are. And now we are going to change this to load. We're going to change this to replay. So just to make them a little bit more generic, we're going to bring in app mode. So what I need to do is I need to include app mode now. Include app mode.h. And I'm going to include in screen here. Here or the screen creator? I think in the screen creator. Okay, just having a look here. Include. Okay, cool. So this is game, UI, end screen. Okay, so this is where I actually create the screens, and I'm going to just go in here and just see what sort of logic that I have here. For now, what I'm going to do, so here we go, get end screen. So this is going to return that now. Yikes, there's so much going wrong at the moment. It's cool though. We will work this out. Promise. Where's my load screen? Create screen. This is what I'm looking for. So create new Scratch Champ end screen. So now I'm just going to change that to end screen, which is going to be this. Oh, this is just a mess. Okay, I need my juice header. Juice header. Where is juice header.h? Okay. Just kind of bouncing all over the place at the moment. So, all right. Now, let's see, app mode. So we have, cool. So that silenced a couple complaints from the IDE, which is nice. So Minette Superbs asks, what are you planning on accomplishing with Scratch Champion today? So that's a great question. So what I'm looking to accomplish today is that we have this end screen. So basically there are two modes in this game. There's a creator mode where you create lessons, and there's a game mode where you play the lessons. And before, I had two separate end screen classes that were very similar in what they were doing. And now what I'm trying to do is I am trying to combine those into one kind of abstract end screen that's going to slightly change what it displays depending on what the application state is. So right now I'm in my new end screen class, and one of the first things that I need to make this class aware of is what is the application mode? Are we in a creator mode or are we in a game mode? So now I'm just thinking about how I pipe that in. Okay. So I'm thinking that I'm piping this in from the main component, right? So basically my main component has the application mode. So so I have that there. And then screen creator is where I create the actual screens is taken in an application mode as an argument. So it feels like what I could do is I could just pipe in the listener and I'm going to call this L rather than listener. And I'm going to call this app mode. It's going to be a reference. So I'm just referencing to the original app mode that I'm going to create. And I'm going to call this mode. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a reference to these down to my app mode down here. So app mode reference, because I don't need to make another app mode. I'm just referencing the original app mode. And now I'm going to actually look at how I don't want to make this super different from how I'm doing other classes. So I'm going to see what I do with button listener. And so I'm going to go to my play screen because I'm taking in, am I taking, no, maybe my setup screen. Okay, so where's my setup screen? Setup screen, setup screen. So that would be down here. 1 moment. Setup, data, UI, all of this stuff. And here we go. Button listener and BL. Cool. So I'm doing that. And that's routing through to the hardware setup display. Okay, cool. So okay, cool. So now we're going to set up our constructor. So I'm going to go here and I'm going to do end screen, and all of that business. And then I'm going to start routing. So here, now I'm just going to make a reference to the button listener. I'm not sure if I need it outside of, I think I do actually. Button listener. Once again, this is a reference. So we're going to go button listener and that's going to reference that. And then app mode, going to reference from mode. So these are just pointers pointing, essentially references pointing to other references pointing back to the original. Same thing as pointers. So use of undeclared identifier end screen. So let's see here. So this is, oh, okay, cool. So I need to, I'm just going to get rid of this. Take it out of the namespace like so. That should clean us up. Okay, so now I just need to shoehorn in some of this other behavior from these other classes. So we have the score back panel and score panel. Let's see what score back panel and score panel are doing. And just taking a look here. So basically, all of this stuff I could just kind of steal from this and adapt. So, oh, I don't want you there anymore because you're going to confuse me. As a matter of fact, I am getting confused. So, okay, this is where I want to be. So now I'm just putting this in here. It's going to complain again about a whole bunch that it doesn't recognize a whole bunch of stuff. Just going to change this to listener, actually. It's going to be replay. This is going to be load. And just changing a whole bunch of stuff around, basically. And listener. Now, hopefully, all of those complaints are going to go away, except for these two. Score back panel and score panel are going to still complain because I haven't created those. So let me create those now. Thing is that it's not, we need to give it access to those classes. So we got those now, but it's going to say, hey, I have no idea what score back panel, or score panel is. So now we need to include the header of the location that's at. So I'm going to do here, I'm going to do include, what is this, game, UI, or, oh, end screen, or back panel, and then all of this business, but just score panel. And I think that I can come back and clean those up where those two things can actually be one thing, but I'm not going to worry about that for now. So okay, so that's fine. So I've routed those in now, and now we are going to grab our resized function. Bring that in there. And then just copy essentially all of this business, because that's just going to so there we are. Okay, member initializer listener does not. Okay, cool. So that no matching member fault. Okay, normally when I get this means I've done something wrong in the header. Okay, so let's take a look here. Okay, so I think that score back panel and score panel is actually in a namespace. So, and it is indeed. So scratch namespace scratch champ. So that's the reason why this is complaining. So this actually needs to be scratch champ. Score back panel. Same thing here. And now those should go away. And then I just need to change the name of these. So this is load button, replay button. And just gonna try to compile here, just kind of refresh what is, what the errors are. So there are going to be some errors, right? So expected class name. So let's see here. So this is Scratch Creator. So only virtual. Okay, cool. So this is in my creator UI screen. Okay, so I think I can actually delete this here. Oh, interesting. So it appears that my end screen for Scratch Creator is a change broadcaster, but in my other application, in my game application, it is not. Okay, so what are we broadcasting? What are we doing there? Yeah, that's right. So I just need to go back through what actually happens there. Um, so I know that there are probably a lot of nuances where people are saying, "What the heck is he talking about?" Uh, yeah, this is kind of this app has kind of gotten deep. So so let's see. So Scratch Creator, yeah. So if recording is finished recording, state is finished. Got change listener callback. That changes the screen to finished. Okay, now let's look at Scratch Champion for a moment. Should have something similar. Yeah. So why do I have change list? So why do I have end screen here listed as a change listener or change broadcaster? What am I broadcasting? What am I broadcasting to? I'm not going to worry about that for now. I'm going to, um, let's see here. Okay. This is some old ancient code I wrote way, way back when. So I'm not too concerned about that. So now let's go to this one. And this is not a change listener. So, okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get rid of these. I'm going to be bold. I'm going to do something bold here, and I'm going to delete both of these end screen classes, these sub end screen classes. So we got this, and I'm going to go delete. Ooh, wait, I don't want to do all that. Just the end screens. And I'm going to do delete. Also move files to trash. And I feel confident that that I'm going to be able to come back and clean that up. Clean up whatever mess that I've made. Hopefully. Okay, so this is the creator. Yeah, that was kind of trash what I did there. So I'm gonna now get rid of that. So cool. So now we are stuck and we've got to make this thing work. Yeah. So we are it is bold, but we are going to do it. Okay. So one thing that I've noticed here is mysteriously I've added listeners here, but I haven't removed them in any type of destructor. That feels that feels dangerous. That I'm not sure if it's going to mess me up later on, but I feel like I need to remove those listeners when the end screen is destructed, following the principles of resource initialization as acquisition. All the uh, all the real C++ programmers in uh, in this chat will know what I mean. This basically means when you're doing stuff like adding listeners, that in your destructor you should be removing the listeners. So, okay, so this feels like a decent place to start. So now the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to pipe try to pipe all this in to this class. So I'm not going to really worry. I'm not going to worry about the button functionality just yet. I'm just going to try to actually get this compiling, actually get this working again. So so let's recompile. Let's see if we get any errors. So we got build failed. So that's not a surprise. So in scratch champion .h says that end screen isn't found. Okay, so while I'm here, I'm going to just have a look around, see if I used end screen anywhere. Okay, cool. So there's no place where I've actually used this so far. So far, so good. So now, hopefully, build should succeed here now. Okay, cool. So that's not quite yet. So Scratch Creator is looking for end screen. So once again, I'm just going to look around. What I just delete? Game UI end screen. Okay, this feels like something complicated is happening here. So okay, cool. So we got get end screen. Okay, so that is in screen. So that's in screen creator. Okay, cool. Okay, so now we are getting somewhere. So this is screen creator. So now I just need to make screen creator aware of end screen. So here we go. Where to put this? I will put this here with my other stuff that's local. And screen.h. Cool. So this is where we're actually doing the screen creation. So this is cool because it's cool that we're getting the error here, because now see, that's where the end screen actually gets created, right? Because it says, so now we just need to start making corrections in here. The first of which is, okay, end screen doesn't says no matching constructor for initialization of end screen, because it's just taking the button listener as an argument right now, but it needs to know takes a reference to the app mode as well. So fingers crossed, we actually have an app mode. Okay, so do we have an app mode? Okay, app mode observer. That's it. Should probably call it the same thing in each class. And then there's going to be, I wrote this little helper function that just gets our end screen. So that should be fine. Okay, it's still complaining. Why is it doing that? Okay, interesting that it's okay. Unknown type. Okay, so that's cool. So this is in Scratch Creator. Okay. Ooh, all of this good stuff. Errors. I'm just gonna keep zapping things out until this actually builds. Oh, look at this. Okay, uh, so now this doesn't know about what? Okay, why is it doing that? So that means that I need to include the juice header here, which is weird. Am I getting some type of circular action going on here where I'm routing something into something and something's routing back into that other something? So this may okay. Oh, okay, cool. So okay. So now we're back. Now we're back here. No known conversion from app mode observer. Oh, yes. Okay, cool. So app mode observer is just the observer of the app mode. It's not the actual app mode. So this would be app mode observer dot get state. Ooh, why is it not playing nice? App mode observer a pointer? No. Okay, let's stop and let's not guess, right? So guessing bad. Knowing and doing properly good. So so we have an app mode observer, right? So here's the thing. If I have an observer, I don't need I don't need to pipe in the app mode from the main component because I have an observer that's observing what's happening with the state. So, so what does that mean? That means that I can go back here to end screen. I actually don't need this here. Don't actually need that. And I will show you why here. So this is a cool little trick that my bro Eyal taught me. So app mode observer, app mode observer. So so why did I do that? Well, the reason is this. One of the big things about states, so if you have like this playing state, you have like different modes, right? So like in this instance, we have two modes that the user can play. They can do a creator mode or they can do a game mode. And keeping track of state can be super complicated, right? If it's not done properly. And I've learned so many lessons because of this. And so the idea behind this pattern is that you only have one object that's keeping track of what your state is at one time, right? So it's this app mode. And now we have this observer, and that's exactly what it does is it observes any changes that are happening in the state. So because of that, what you can do is you actually only have one app mode object, but you can have all of these different classes that have this observer that are basically looking at what is happening, what is the state of this application at any one point. So that's which is really really cool. I find this really enjoyable actually. So So there's going to be a point where I'm going to need to say, like here, um, if app mode observer dot get state is equal to app mode, um, this would be game, then these get added and made visible. Suppose if you wanted to get super fancy about it, maybe those could be unique pointers that so that your score panel only gets created if it's a game. I think I'll come back and I'll do that, but let's just keep on task. So okay. So now we're going to try to one day we will actually get this compiling, I promise you. So we got build failed. So we got no member. Cool. So this is nice because now we're back in main, getting an error in main component, which is good. So we got this get replay game. I've changed that to just get replay button. Yikes. Okay, we are getting there. Oh, now I can just get rid of that again. This is so funny. I promise I kind of know what I'm doing. But so Alan, hi Alan. Good to see you. So Alan, aka Meow Workshop. I'm assuming that app mode will be modified by other threads. Is this a reason why you made it an atomic variable instead of using mutexes? Similar. That's a great question. Hold on, let me just. Oh, that's returning a const. Okay, 1 second. Let me fix this first, really quick. Sorry, Alan. I will come back to your question. So these don't need two const, do they? Will that go away now? Oh, this needs to be. So let's see. So button is a pointer. That's returning. So this needs to be an ampersand. So here we go. Suspense. Suspense, suspense. Here we go. Moment of truth. Is it going to work? I think it'll work. I think we'll be fine. While we're doing that, so going back to app mode. Yes, so I've made that atomic, and the reason I made that atomic is because yes, there will be times where the user will click a button, and then that button will initiate a change in the state. So that would be a change from the UI thread. But then there is also a time where the game ends and the lesson is complete, and then that change needs to be initiated by the audio thread. Ooh, I hope that that's the right. I hope that that's the right way to do it. but yeah, that's the reason. So an app, so a state change could, well in this case, app mode, I'm sorry, application mode of creator and game, it is actually overkill to make that atomic. No, that would actually be, for now, I haven't actually created a UI yet to actually change between the game and the creator. Um, but yeah, normally in my other observers, like my state observer that switches, so I have a state observer. Wow, this is taking forever to build. So I have a game state. So this one, login, setup, load, play, and finished. That state can actually be changed by the UI thread or by the audio thread, and because of that, I've made it atomic. So, but app mode, for app mode, yeah, it's probably not necessary. It's not necessary for app mode actually to be atomic. I could just actually do that, and that will be fine. And that means this can be, now it's going to complain about all this stuff. All the stores, all the loads, fix all that stuff. This is load. There we go. Okay, so now going back, we have a login and we have a setup screen. And now we have our lesson screen. We click a lesson. Now we can hit play and it's playing. For people who may just joined us, the reason why you're not hearing anything is because the audio is coming from my mixer and not from not and that's not routed into my sound card. My sound card only has 2 channels. I need to upgrade to a new universal audio sound card that has 4 channels, so I can actually route both of those in and you can hear what's going on. So there we go. And now we are at lesson complete. And once again, we're back. So good. So this is good. We're now back to our original problem, which is that we're clicking these buttons and nothing is happening. So great. And we have end screen, and now let's see. So what do we want? What do we want to actually happen? So going back to our main component, we have this replay button clicked. And then if the button is the replay button, now comes the question of, okay, so you have these two, so now you have these 2 states, app state, game state, creator state. Can we abstract out what happens when replay happens? So let's see. So if it's a game, so if it's a Scratch Champion game, so I'm going to now go to Scratch Champion. Replay button clicked. And what's nice is that, boom, we have our functions here. So we can actually, sorry, my arm needs to click. Okay, so we have replay button clicked, which is nice. Now, what I have is in my main component. So I've done a lot of work into abstracting all of this stuff out, right? This used to be actually 2 separate Juice projects. So what I've done here is I've made a unique pointer called Scratch Game. So my creator and my game is actually all abstracted out into a class called Scratch Game. And then in my constructor, so this is happening at compile time at the moment, but eventually I think I'll make it where the user can actually choose this. Well, I'll need to do that. And it basically says if it's a creator, then we're going to make it a Scratch creator object. If it's a champion, then we're going to make it if it's a game, then we're going to make a Scratch champion uh, type of game. And because these both have such similar characteristics. So what's nice is that now we have replay button clicked and end game load button clicked. Now, what would be nice is if my Scratch game object, which is, where is that? So my Scratch game base class actually has, and this is what makes all of this work that I did earlier worth it. Because what I've done is I've taken all these things that both of these modes were doing, and I've abstracted them out into this base class that has pure virtual methods. So now I can actually just call, going back down to my point, which is that if it's get replay button and that's been clicked, then I could say replay button clicked, and I know that that is going to be that no matter what mode I'm in, I know that that's going to execute the right function. And same thing for this. So get load button. And then end game load button clicked. Scratch game, end game load button clicked, button. And now that should work. We should be good. Oh, build failed. What happened? Bool. Call type to bool is not a function or pointer type. Okay, cool. So what did I do? Bool update false. Oh, so this needs to be update equals false. Update equals true. At mode equals mode. Okay, here we go. We should be good to go here. Trying to think if I've missed anything. So Retro Ninja says DJ scratching game. You mean like DJ Hero? Yes. So like DJ Hero, but with actual DJing equipment, though, not with a game controller. So here we go. These build times are taking forever. What's going on? So, okay, while that's doing its thing, I'm just thinking. Just looking at my stuff here, making sure that it all actually makes sense. Cool. So we got build succeeded. Here we are. We're back again. Scratch game. And here we are back here. Setup button, test button, and now we're going to play through this game again. Of course, I don't have my equipment hooked up, so I can't play along with it. Yeah, so here we go. All of this. I think the next thing that I might do. So there are two things that I'm thinking of for today. So one is that I'm thinking of making some changes to the way that this scratch displays. Okay. And so here's the big test, right? So play again should bring me back to the play screen. Oh, crash. And it doesn't even give me anything to doesn't give me anything to actually trace to. That's not good. Okay, cool. So there was a crash there. Really bad crash. Let's see here. So now we have to go back and let's take a look. So in main component, I've clicked replay button. Replay button clicked. Now routes to either Scratch Creator or Scratch Champion replay button clicked. And now we are back. So now it's back here. So let's go a little bit micro here and think about what has happened. So replay button's been clicked and state's been changed to play. Screen creator changes the screen. We want to make sure that player has been created and then reset audio. So why it gave a access error trying to access something that does not exist at that particular time. So the question is, what doesn't exist when? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set a breakpoint here to see if it happens in here or if it happens after I execute player reset audio. So here we go. We're going to do this. So we're going to do some debugging together. And see what's happening there. So I'm having a good time. Are you having a good time? So wow, these build times are really taking a minute. What is going on here? I don't know why it's taking so dang long. Okay, build succeeded. I think I'm building in release mode as well. So I'm just going to take a look. Oh, they have changed this or something. Oh, here we go. Build configuration. I'm going to change this back to debug. Sorry. We're going to need to go through this build process again. Okay, cool. So we're building. All right, we need to go through all of this. Da, da, da. Now we play. And going through all this. So Alan is saying he's having a good time. Thinks he thinks he needs to spend more time debugging rather than actually writing code. Oh, yeah. I think debugging is one of those things that is It's always one of those things that you don't want to do, but got to do it. All right, here we go. So interestingly, it looks like I'm actually hitting that bad access before I actually get to this break point. Interesting. That's not that kind of surprises me. Okay, so now we're going to go here. So, okay, should I even go earlier than that? Shall I go here? Do this again. Hmm. Thinking of what this could be. Thinking of why I'm getting this bad access error, this crashing. What what is going on here? Okay, this should definitely hit my breakpoint now. Wow. Huh. Have I put the wrong I think I know what I did. So let's go to screen creator. And I'm going to go down to, okay, in end screen. I put, put button listener as the argument for end screen. Is that what I want? Button listener. So this is creating a screen creator, which is being created in main component. Which is listening for changes in, yeah, in this component, right? So passing that down into the end screen. Then going into the end screen. It's adding replay button and load button as a listener. So my main component is listening for changes in button clicks in the end screen. So Sumya asks to look at the stack trace. The problem is that the stack trace just brings me to the assembler level. It doesn't even give me a trace at all, unfortunately. Yeah, so that's so what have I forgotten? So let's look back at main component again. So we got button clicked. So strange. It's like you click on that and it, what in the world? So I am in debug mode, right? This happened to me the other day. Ah, oh, did this the other day. So archive is in. Oh, this is what's. So this is what's happening. This happened to me the other. This happened to me just the other day. Dang it. So, oh wow, Alan knows assembler. Holy cow. From the disassembly, it looks like it's crashing at create screen. Might be worthwhile to set a breakpoint at the start of that function. See if you're passing in null references or something. Okay. I'm actually so what I'm going to do is I'm going to set a breakpoint back in replay button because like a like an idiot, I didn't even you can't have breakpoints when you're in release mode. Um, so this so now I'm gonna try this again. Set the breakpoint here again. Oh, you saw the function name in the assembly. Ah, you smart. See, that's why you're a pro and I'm an amateur. 'Cause he's like, I saw the function name in the disassembly. Yeah, be good for me to see that. Yeah. So here we go. So we're building in debug mode now, and we're gonna see. We're gonna step through this and see what actually happens. So the building is going to take a second. This is a good time though. So Sumia asked, how much will it be available for? That is a great question. I'll be honest, I don't know what I'm going to do with this app. I worked with it. I've worked on it seriously for a few years now. Um, but there's a lot to make this app really successful. It really needs a team. It's really not. I really don't think it's a one person operation. And there's a lot more that I would like to do. And if if this app was the only thing that I was doing, then why is that going through to there? Oh, hold on a minute. So, okay, before we go there, I've just realized something, which is that what I would like is when one of these buttons gets clicked, that it returns out a button clicked. So my question is, okay, it does have return. So maybe what I could do is I could make this, I could make the return type of login button clicked a bool that returns out of everything else because I don't want it to check to make sure every single one of these has been clicked if one of them has been clicked, right? But then I'm going to have to write a million times if login button clicked return. Um, else if load button clicked return. Hmm. Can't see any other way other than can't see any shorter way to do that. Take a global bool, pass it as a reference to each function. Oh, oh, wow, genius! I love it. That is genius. Wow, thank you very much, Somya. So bool was clicked, right? And we can make that false. So but then we're going to need to make a function. Button was clicked. So let's see. So first of all, let's think about where would we put that? Um, so let's go to the first one. Login button was clicked. Button gets clicked. Was clicked. It's true. And then going back up here, the only thing is it still needs to, because then you would say if was clicked, if was clicked, return. But how could you check that after every single? You'd still have to try to check that every single time, because if the login button wasn't clicked, if the login button was clicked, then it goes down to the next one. But then you'd still have to, but then it wouldn't return. It doesn't go through all of these again. Hmm. Oh. Oh. Let's see here. I really can't see any other way past that. If anybody else has any suggestions, that'd be great. But I can't see any other way. I can't see any other way outside of turning all of these to bulls. Just going to do it like that for now. Maybe I'll come back and maybe there's something. Maybe there's something clever that something more clever that I could that I could do. Where would you need the final return? The final return would need to happen at the point when this when each one of these executes. I mean, is it such a big deal that uh, that it would cycle through all of those? I think it's unnecessary. I mean, am I over optimizing? I mean, it's possible that I'm trying to over optimize here and that it's not really that big of a deal. I'm going to leave it. I'm going to leave it for now. I'm going to leave it, but with the possibility, with the right to come back at at a at another time. I don't like. I'm not a big fan of the fact that it's cycling through all of them. So I've done login, change each to return bool. Yeah. Here we go. Playing through this thing. So still thinking about this return situation. How to do it without writing it each time. Okay, cool. So here we go. Let's see if we can. Okay, so now we are in here. So let's have a look at our. So all of this is all good. So now I step in. Step over. Screen creator. Okay, here we go. Now we are getting somewhere. Current game screen. So wait, does okay, we're getting somewhere now. Does screen creator not exist anymore? No, it's still there. So screen creator is calling screen changed. Current game screen is null pointer. Okay, why is current game screen null pointer? Okay, so now we've, as Alan alluded to about 15 minutes ago, it seems like screen creator is the culprit. So current game screen. So the game finishes. So let's look. So let's look here. Scratch champion finished. Screen creator. Oh, I think I know what happens. Return new, turn new end screen, right? So now, okay, it looks like calls a member function to each listener on the list. So it's calling to a listener that does not exist. No, no, no. Let's not go outside of what we first. So calls create screen. So screen changed. Oh, yes. Okay. I think I know what's happened. Um, yep. Yeah, I know what it is. Sort of. So the play screen, depending on if it's a creator mode or game mode, creates a different screen, right? Which sounds like perhaps that's a problem in itself. Sounds complicated. So sounds like that could be better, right? So when let's see, load button clicked. So auto. Oh, hey, what's up, Paul? Good to see you, Paul. Um, okay, so I create a. Oh, That does not look safe, does it? Set up play screen. Return new play screen. This feels not right. So what is responsible for the lifetime of this play screen? Scratch champion, right? Scratch champion. Scratch champion object is responsible for the lifetime of this play screen. Let's talk about how we could do it. How we could do it this with this old pointer, and then let's figure out how we're going to fix it and make it modern. So you got so then you create a new play screen. We pass it in to the creator. Which is here, return screen. So first, okay, so here's the thing, is that it changes current screen to the end screen from the play screen. So you have the play screen, changes it to the end screen. When replay button is clicked, it needs to change it back to the play screen. So the play screen exists. So where is this? So I could just do this. Oh, so hold on. How do I get access to this again? Set up play screen. Turn new play screen. This feels like I could do this manually. So, okay, so I could do this. Which would be play screen. Play screen. Full pointer. I'm curious to hear from our more experienced developers how this would be set up with a smart pointer because I don't set up play screen, returns a juice. Let's see. Sorry. I'm thinking about a couple things. It's play screen. Maybe you need to destroy the old play screen. No, I don't. I don't need to destroy it. I don't need to destroy it unless I'm going back to the. So where was this at? And what's the other button? So you got replay button, end game, load button, which is so now should be this. Sorry, play screen. And then here it would be delete play screen. Do I need to do play screen null pointer? So now, so let's see. So play screen gets created. Just going to do a little check here. If play screen else insert false. I think I've done it. It's kind of it's manual, and I wish there was a smart way to do it. Because I need it to hang around for it to be to reset it. All right, we're gonna try it. Okay, here we go. Going through all of this business. Here we go. Oh, I still got my breakpoint. So I'm going to hit play. Okay, so so that's still bad access. Play screen. Okay, so okay, didn't quite work. So I passed the pointer. Don't understand why. No, that still exists. I'm going to try this again. Oh. No, it's still okay. Oh, it's not. It's not. It's create screen. Sorry, create screen. Play screen. Right. So that is no longer null pointer though. Hmm. This does not. This feels like it's all wrong. So screen creator. That's I can change that, but um, okay. So what calls create screen? No, it's still giving me bad access, unfortunately. So screen creator calls screen changed. Then it says current game dot reset. Creates create a new screen, right? So then it calls a screen. So I'm thinking about the finished state. So add and make visible expect a pointer. You're dereferencing current game screen. So add and make visible um, can take a dereferenced. No, it doesn't. You can give it a pointer, or you can give it just the object directly. So you could do either one. So it has to do with this back here. So screen creator. So changes. So when it finishes, it calls finished, and then it calls screen changed. Then here it says current game, reset that to screen. Thing is that, okay, create screen. Then that calls finished, returns a new end screen. Okay, then going back. So now does it call all this though? Yeah. So let's go back to finished. Sure, that's the only place where. Okay, cool. So that calls that play state observer. Aha. I need to add this back as a change listener, first of all. So it actually needs to call setup. Okay, cool. I'm getting there. I'm getting around to it now. So let's go back to null pointer, right? So let's. So the question is, do I need to? So Sumya made the suggestion of destroy the old play screen and create a new one, right? So I thought maybe yeah. So I was thinking that maybe I could keep the old play screen around, but it's looking like maybe it's better if I take Sumya's advice and we do delete play screen equal to null pointer. Then let's go back to create. So it feels like I just need to do all of this again. So this could be pulled out into a function. So this will be called, well, I've already called it setup place. I've already got a function called setup play screen. Okay, cool. What if I do this? That into here. Oh, sorry, I'm. Mm, oh my! Look at all this business. Okay, just figuring out how to encapsulate all of this business. And it looks like there's no substitute for really. I'm just gonna have to kind of do this again. No, I don't. Get loading screen, so it gets game items. Oh, this is tricky. Set up the play screen. So deleting the play screen, setting up a new one is not it's not going to work. All this stuff is there. I thought that I would just need to reset it. But the problem is that the current game screen. So something happens here when I pass in when it's the play screen. I pass that in here, and then it does create screen. Screen. Then it says game state equals play, return the screen. Plays through, goes to the finish, calls screen changed, calls create screen, which then calls game state finish, returns a new end screen. Then the button gets clicked. If it's the end screen, if it's the replay button clicked. Returns the state back to play. Let's see. Let me go back up here for setup play screen. So all of this stuff. Oh, has player gone out of scope? Where's metadata come from? Must persist through the lifetime of the app. So do I need to create a new player? So this is unique, that lasts throughout the lifetime of Scratch Champion. So why? Okay, so I'm going to do this. Could the problem be you're adding it twice? I mean, the add invisible one. Yes, on play again, it's getting called again. Shouldn't it be add the next time? Only just make visible. Yeah, great question. Okay, so yeah, that's a great question. So it changes current games. So when the game state goes to finished, it changes the does it so the question is, so current game screen changes to the finish screen, but play screen still exists. Not here, not in Screen Creator, but in Scratch Champion, it still exists. Then end screen is created. Which means that, so what does that mean? So it means that you have a pointer to a play screen. So you have a new play, so you have a play screen. And you have a pointer to that pointer. That pointer gets severed, but the original pointer still exists. The original pointer is still there. That's what I don't. That's what I don't understand. That's what I don't get. It's saying that there's a bad access. Play screen still exists in Scratch Champion though. So I want to see, so let's do an experiment, right? So let's go back to replay button clicked, right? So let's go back to the main app. Replay button clicked. Calls scratch game replay button clicked. Which in turn calls this. So I'm going to make sure play data and player still exist. And a screen. Strange, because as far as I can see, they all should still exist. It's really strange. Okay, here we go. We will get there. Okay, I'm going to hit play again. Should take me to the break point. Step over, step over. So if play screen, create play screen. Okay. What is all this? So it looks like what I did just worked. So what happened? What the heck? Did that just work? What I just did? Hold on. Sorry, people. Does that make visible, make a new object of the screen, and then adds it? No, it doesn't. It doesn't make a new object. No. So I think the only thing that would be a problem would be that I've removed the change listener and I would need to add it back again. Okay, so I hit play again. Now it's not doing anything. Weird. So let's go back again. So I'm going to add this back as a change listener. Okay. Screen creator. Ah, is this what I want? I think I've, okay. All right, let's try this. Okay. Da da da. Okay, while it's doing that, I'm going to make sure that in my destructor, which I don't have one, that's not good. If play screen. Make a destructor to make sure that I'm not. Adding button listeners here. Okay. Okay. Now let's see what happens here. Dang you. So it's saying it's bad access. Why is it saying that it's bad access though? I mean, that's there. That exists. Don't I really don't get why. Okay, so I have So I have an idea. Let's see what happens when it's originally created. So let's go here. Build failed. What happens? Ah, I think you may need to set the results screen to set visible false. Simply set the set visible of the play screen to true again. Huh. For the docs, it looks like that if it adds twice, if it's called twice. Okay. All right, let's have a look through here, right? So I'm gonna jump in. Okay, so I noticed something right away. This is when this is being passed in, this is being passed in as a scratch champ play screen pointer. When it's the second time that it's passed in as a regular juice component, not as a scratch champ play screen. My question is, why is that? Play screen is seen here as a scratch champ play screen. I think you are adding them linearly as the player progresses from the start to finish screens. Yeah, yeah, I am. What I notice is that here screen is a scratch champ play screen, but at the end when it crashes, it's seeing it as a it's seeing it. Oh, wait. Okay, so it's returning. So when I have it in play, it's just returning the screen. I think it should be the case that when you need to add all of them, the first, yeah, but the thing is that aside from the play screen, only one of these exists at one time. The only one that can exist outside of its own state is the play screen. I mean, one option, this goes back to the one that you suggested earlier, which is that maybe you create another screen and you go through the whole process again, but just with what stopped us from doing that before? So why? If maybe I should do that outside of this function. Do play. Stop. Okay, I'm nearly at a solution, I think. Okay, which is that feels like a new play screen needs to be set up. So why didn't I just do that before? Let's go back here. It's metadata, pull the metadata from the screen. So that'll be there. So why can't I just say this? I don't know why I didn't just try this the first time around. Um, do I need to? Probably don't need to even check if the play screen exists or not. Just delete it. Yeah, yeah, I agree. I think this feels only thing. So I'm setting it up again, but I've already allocated. Already allocated all this. I don't need to do it again. The only thing that I need to do is this. I do this. Data dot. Isn't there like a reset? Um, unique. Reset. Make unique. Reset takes a pointer, which seemed to want as a simple move assignment. So what I want to do is I want to basically reset. Let's see here. Takes an argument of new. Okay, so I'm going to do this. Now I think we should be all right. Okay, here we go. This doesn't work. I'm going to call it a night and live to fight another day, I think. Where is it? Okay, here it is. Cross your fingers. Okay. Trying to think of a way to get around the raw pointer. And now I'm going to play again. Bad access. So I should probably be using an. Okay, I'm going to see if this works. I have an idea. Big shout out to Room Beats. He says, thanks for the tutorials. Yeah, glad to help. Glad that they're helpful for you. Whenever you encounter bad access, it means that you are sending a message to an object that has already been released. Bad access. It's already been deleted. But I'm saying if play screen is not equal to null pointer. So weird. I don't get it. I really need to change this to a smart pointer. Shouldn't be doing it with a raw pointer in the first place. That's the reason why this is all messing up in the first place, isn't it? Okay, da da da. Hmm. Ah, it worked. Holy cow, it actually worked. I need to change it around to a unique pointer. I'll do that, but I won't mess with it for now. Okay, now we'll load another lesson. Yes, it works. Ah, yes. Thank you. I'm going to make a confession and say that I don't know exactly why that's the case. I'm wondering if I might have a memory leak somewhere, but I will check that tomorrow morning. All right, one more time. Play again. Okay, so it's some weird state stuff. Probably need to make the stars invisible again. But it actually works. It actually works. It's seeing the state. It's all on time. It actually all works. Oh, thank goodness. Woo! Thank you so much, everybody, for your help. Oh, golly. What a freaking ordeal that was. Cool. Let's go do this. All right. Yeah, that'll be fine. Okay. I feel like I need to have a look at this a little bit more in depth when I have some more energy. So this is returning a new one, turning a new play screen. Why do I not need to delete it? Yeah. Hmm. Trying to think of how to. So, okay, I want to make this into a unique pointer, right? Last, last thing. Can I do that first of all? What I have now. Build failed. Yeah, it's not going to let me do that. So how? Oh, can I do this? Dot reset. Hit. What else? What else is complaining? Set. Yeah, I would debug this using log messages everywhere to see what's actually happening. I agree. I think I've made it safe now. But let's see. Let's see if this actually. Yeah. There are a couple. This is good because this has identified some weaker points in my C++ knowledge. I need to understand more about. Okay, now I'm back to here again. Bad access. Not delete incomplete type. More about object lifecycle. Yeah, exactly. It's this type of stuff that I mean I understand it, but the problem is that something else is controlling the lifetime, messing with the lifetime of play screen, which is really strange. So it says so when I'm checking to see if play screen is null pointer, it it's saying that it's not null pointer, but at the same time it's saying that it's a bad access. So which means that it is null pointer, right? Yeah. Yeah, that's a good one that will I will come back to. Oh, well, that was fun. I found that very educational, and I hope you did as well. I'm going to just load this repo commit. Um, created. Oh, yeah. I thought that those. So Sumya says maybe check something like if something is not equal to null pointer instead of just if something. Well, I thought those two were the same thing. Oh, is it not? Is my laziness responsible for the reason that's yeah, I'll have to have a look at that. I thought those two meant the same thing, but maybe not, huh? Oh, anyways, it is getting late, and thank you very much to Somya and Alan and Martin and the other people that have helped out. Uh, yeah, this has been fun. I hope you enjoyed it. And Sumya, I hope to see you maybe in the Discord. Uh, yeah, thank you very much for hanging out. A lot of fun, and I learned a lot. And I hope you did too. So see everybody. See everybody soon.